since you're running loads 24/7 and troubleshooting, when do you sleep? I don't have that many trucks. I book loads that usually that pick up and deliver during day hours. So it would be a perfect scenario where you can load in the morning and deliver in the morning. So if you book a load that delivers at night, then drivers usually don't like that. It messes their sleep, their rest, their hours of service. It's hard to find parking at like after they get unloaded or before they get unloaded. It's just a hassle. Sometimes these big companies that receive at night, they have lumpers, and then they have to pay for the lumper, and then they might call you, wake you up, and they might have a problem, at the delivery. So I don't like to book those kind of loads. Only very, very, very rare I do that. And the drivers usually also try to drive during day hours, like at 8, 9, 10 p.m., 11 p.m., they're already stopped driving. And then sometimes, like if I know that the driver has a lot of miles then before I go to bed, I would just check my Keep Tracking app, that's my ELD provider, and then see where the drivers are. Are they still driving? Are they off duty? If they're all off duty, then they're probably gonna stay off duty till the morning, and then they're not gonna need anything. So usually, like if you have a small company and if you plan your loads like this, then usually you should be okay as far as sleeping goes. You can just sleep like normal people do. And sometimes weekends, if you have drivers who like to run on a weekend, if they pick up, then then sometimes you have to help them over the weekend. But again, that's during day hours, and I don't mind, since this is my company. I work for myself. I enjoy it, and I know it's bringing me money, and I do it. I don't mind, even on a holiday, even if I'm on vacation. Then I don't mind doing it. Bigger companies that have more trucks, they don't have the luxury of planning loads like I do. They sometimes have to deliver at night. People are driving over a weekend, and what they do is they might have like every week someone that's on call. And they change it. When I worked for a big company as a dispatcher, sometimes I was on call, and then they would call me, but that's only like once in a while, depending whose turn it is. Or maybe you have a third shift or second shift of dispatchers that work, and they can cover those calls. So if you're a big company, they can work it out like that. If you're a small company, it just comes to planning. If sometimes you can get a load that's paying good money, but it delivers at night, and I won't take that load. It's not all about money. Of course, we're in this business or in any business to make money and make a living, but it's not like even if I'm gonna get rich, but I'm not gonna get rich because one load pays $1,000 more than a regular load that's delivering in the morning instead of night. I'm not gonna get rich because of that one load. What I am gonna do, I'm gonna make the driver tired, maybe even angry, and then I'm not gonna sleep. And was it really worth it? If that driver, you do it a few times, and then the driver leaves, and you can't find a new driver, and then you're tired. Like they keep waking up, they wake up your family too. Is it worth it? And even if I'm gonna get rich like that, if I do it all the time, what's the point? If you want to be rich, then try to get 50, 100 trucks and have dispatchers who are gonna do it for you. You don't have to do it, but then with that comes a lot of more responsibility and liability too. So it just for me, I like it this way. I like to work by myself. Have maybe 5, 6 trucks stop, because after that I have to hire a dispatcher and then start hiring people, having a bigger office, pay more subscriptions for load boards, for an extra phone. And I really, I had it, but I like it better this way. And then I can, even talk to you and do these videos. I'm by myself. No one is bothering me. Let's go to next question. Great video. Question from a learner. Why would an owner operator with his own authority, why would he come to a dispatcher? They can book the load using that, right? I'm trying to learn the competition a dispatcher company would face. Okay, so why would an owner operator want to work with a dispatcher? Because they have their own authority and they can look for loads themselves and not pay anyone money. Well, there are a few reasons why they want to do that. I know several people that have their own trucks and their own authority, but like their wives are dispatching them, or their sons or daughters, son-in-law, like their family, they're dispatching, they're looking for loads. It's hard for them to find a load while driving. There are drivers who look for loads themselves, like when they deliver, when they're picking up, like they would stop over and then look for a load. I'm sure there are drivers who look for loads while driving, and not only is it not safe, it's also illegal. It's a big fine for a driver and the company if they DOT or police catches them texting or looking on their phone while driving. And then if you get in an accident, then you're done. So don't look for loads and drive. But why would they need it? Well, they don't have time to look for it. They're driving, they're delivering, getting fuel, eating, resting. They don't have time to look for it. Some people, there are a lot of drivers who don't know that much English, and they don't feel comfortable calling brokers and talk to them on the phone. Also, some people don't, even though like they know English, they don't feel comfortable negotiating and looking for loads. They want someone else to do it for them. They might be going on vacation and they want someone to have loads for them ready when they come back. They want to enjoy their weekend. They want to go away. Sometimes even trucking companies, even though they have their own dispatcher, if it's a one-guy operation like me, what if I want to go to vacation and I don't want anyone to bother me? I want to rest. Or what if I'm sick? That's when the dispatching companies, come in handy, and that's why people use them. And then, like, if you're driving and you only have like 15 minutes a day to spare to look for a load, it's going to be hard to find a load. A dispatcher can sit on their computer all day, like 8-10 hours a day, and just look at the computer. And when the load comes out, you can call it right away before someone else takes the load. Especially if it's a good load, or if there are not many loads around, then that's your job. That you look at like the driver looks at the windshield and their windows all day, and that's their job. Your job is to look at the computer all day, and as soon as that load comes up, you call it. A driver cannot do it. Driver cannot drive all day and then hit refresh and look. They don't have the luxury for that. Nice content. How do you invoice? How do you do invoices? Are you using free or paid software? I heard some people have free apps to do it. Can you create a video about that? Also, how to do owner statement. Looking forward to hear back. Thanks. How do you do invoices? Well, I don't know about these free programs, but I highly advise you not to go with that. I like to save money as much as I can. I don't like paid subscriptions. I like to do everything for free as much as I can. But doing invoices is different. Like, I use truckingoffice.com, and they don't pay me, or they have no affiliate links. I don't think so. I'm just saying what I use. Truckingoffice.com. They're very simple. There are high-end programs that you can use, like ITS, I think Dr. Dispatch, PC Miler, There are a lot of programs. They're much more expensive, and they're much more advanced, and they are for big companies, for large companies. For me, I use Tracking Office. They have 2 or 3 levels. I have the higher level because that includes driver settlements. So in this program, what you do is actually like you put in all your trucks, all your trailers, and then for me as a trucking company, it's nice because it will remind you when the DOT inspection is due, registration for your drivers, like when their physical is going to expire. It reminds you of that. And then on top of that, what you do is you go in and type in all your loads, like all the loads you're doing. You type it in all the, like from point A to point B, and then you produce an invoice from that trip. You put the rate confirmation that you got, like pickup city, delivery city, the rate, the rate confirmation, like the brokers have their own load numbers, and then you produce an invoice. And then you can send that invoice to the broker along with the rate confirmation and proof of delivery. And then, because you're putting all those loads in an order and you assign them to each driver, then like when your IFTA is due, you can come up with your miles. You can, like for your IRP for registration, you can come up with the miles. You can do reports, like trucks, how much they made, like pay per mile average, all kinds of. We may do a video on that, and then I'll show you what it looks like. But then also, like if you choose a driver, you go to driver settlement, and then you choose a period, like for 1 week that I do, and I choose a driver, and then I say produce a driver settlement, and then it will tell me all the loads that they did and how much I owe them, and then I can add expenses, like extra charges like fuel and insurance. I can do reimbursements, lamp receipts, and then it will produce like a regular pay stub with all the year-to-date income, year-to-date expenses for them, and then you have an official driver settlement / pay stub that you can send, and this program does it all. And then I highly recommend it. It's not that expensive, it's worth it. And then even like when you're negotiating loads with brokers, like when the broker pay you, if the broker pays you directly, like they pay me directly, I go in and then like I see how much brokers owe me at all times. And then as soon as they pay me, then I put it in and it's paid. If I see that they haven't been paying for a while, then I call them up. You call up the brokers and ask them why they're not paying, and all kinds of different things in trackingoffice.com. So that's what I use. When you start the company after your first truck, if you couldn't get the broker right away on the same day when the truck is ready, we have to convince the truck to wait a few days, right? That's a question. Or the truck will go with their current dispatcher until you find them a load. So there are a few things I want to address here. Like the last part, or the truck will go with their current dispatcher. And well, what I'm assuming is that like they're working with a truck driver or trucking company that already had their own dispatchers and they're helping them. Yes, the driver, if they have another dispatcher, of course they will go with someone else because they want to run. If they sit, they're not making money. And then the first part of the question, you have to convince the truck to wait a few days. Few days is a bit extreme, A few hours is already long time to wait for a load. A few days is really unacceptable. Why? Because you have so many load boards. You are a dispatcher. You're not paid to sit and wait for a load. You're paid to find a load. Even if in hard times, if there are no loads around, like if you call a load and then the loads are being covered within 2 seconds, and it's hectic. You're calling, and then as soon as you see a load, you call, and then they're like, oh, it's covered. But your job is to find a load. Your job is to make a load appear somehow. Drivers don't care how. You have to have a load for them. If you're watching load boards, you can't find it. Okay, well, you can't find a load like that. Start calling brokers. Start calling your contacts. Do you have anything? Email brokers. Go to brokers' websites. Big brokers have their own load boards. I see a lot of dispatchers that don't do that. Like they only look at the DAT board, sometimes truck stop or 123 load board. Like that's like, and then they're like, oh yeah, well there are no loads, and I'm just sitting here. Well, if there are no loads, you go to CH Robinson website, to JB Hunt, Coyote, TQL, ArcBest. There are a number, like tens of load boards that you can go with. Call them up. Call the previous, look up the load history where you, like I was saying, in trucking office, you can go and look the load history, the lanes, look by lanes, look by like brokers, like if that guy's in Houston, Texas, for example, and then go to your previous loads and see what loads you did out of Houston and call up those brokers. Something will come up. Drivers will not wait few days to get loaded. Maybe they'll wait 1 time or 2 times, but they're not gonna do that because they want to make money. Imagine if you're an owner-operator, you have your own truck that's worth 100, like with the trailer, $100 or $200,000. You have to pay for it. You have to. You're losing money. You're away from your family. You're just there at the truck stop, doing nothing. What are you gonna do? And you're nervous. How do you convince the driver to stay there? Are you gonna pay them layover fee? Well, how much is that gonna be? Like $150? That's nowhere enough. They're not gonna make money like that. So your job as a dispatcher is to make a load appear from somewhere, and then it doesn't matter from where. You have to have a load. If the times are bad, I understand that. You can't find a load, and then if they have to wait, sometimes there is no load. There are no loads today. You look for tomorrow. Okay, I tried my best around noon or 2 o'clock. I'm already starting to look for tomorrow while I'm looking for today. I'm already starting to look for tomorrow because I don't want to come into the same position tomorrow. Like I've been looking all day today for load for today, and then I can't find anything, and then the next day I start looking for that day, and then here we are again. Nothing is gonna change overnight. It's still gonna be a bad area. There's still not gonna be loads. But if you start looking today for tomorrow and today, it's a better chance that you're gonna find a load today for tomorrow. So now you have 2 options. A few days. It only will happen rarely if you go to a really bad area and you have a picky owner-operator. Like that owner-operator, they don't want any loads. Like you give them few options, like here are a few loads, and they still don't want it. They might complain, well, it's too heavy and whatnot. If that driver does not understand that it's a bad situation, you are in bad area, just take whatever you can to get out, or go out empty, drive a couple of 100 miles empty and get out of that bad area. If that driver, you did everything you could and that driver still does not understand, well, just let them sit, and then hopefully they will learn their lesson, because it's their fault that they're sitting. If you're offering them loads and they don't want to do anything, then either they don't want to go from there. They might want to stay in that area for their own reasons. I'm not gonna say why, or they are really picky and they are like hard-headed. They don't want to understand that there are no loads, and then if they want to sit, that's on them. And sometimes if that owner operator wants to leave, it might be best for everyone's interest, because like let's say you have 5 trucks and then all these 3 or 4 trucks, you find a load, easily, and then you spend same amount of time covering that one truck, as if you're covering those other trucks. You spend the same amount of time. Like, is it worth it? Is it worth it that you have to call them up every 5 minutes and spend time with them on the phone, and then spend 5 hours to find a load, and these guys you covered in 5 minutes? Is it really worth it for you? Think about that. Maybe it's best not to work with that guy, or talk to him and say, this is not going to work out. Either you start accepting these loads, even though you might like them. At the end, the point of trucking is to run and make money. The point of trucking is not to sit. If you sit, you're not making money. Better to make less money while running a bad load than to make no money at all. So you might want to talk to that guy, and then, if they leave, okay, then you have more time to concentrate on these other guys that are left and find them better loads, because now you have more times and you have a lot of less stress. And that driver might even, like, when they go someplace else, and these guys, just like when you decline a load, you go to back of the list, buddy. You're on the back of the list, and I'm gonna look for all these other drivers that are willing to take a load, and you're gonna be the last one. Some companies do it that way. I don't. Like, if my owner operator does not want a load, I keep looking. But big companies cannot afford to do that. So when they find out how it works in different companies, they will come back to you, and then you can even tell them, hey, I'm going to charge you more. I spent so much money, so much time on you. I'm going to charge you a bigger percentage because it's not worth it. Take it or leave it. From a dispatcher perspective, what do you think are the most important things to do, or best practices to build a long-lasting relationship with owner-operators / carriers? I'm learning about dispatching with hopes of one day having my own business, and your videos are extremely motivating to me. Thanks in advance. Best of luck. Well, thank you. So one of the most important thing to do if you want to build a long-lasting relationship. I have all these guys with me that I have 2 owner-operators and 2 company drivers have been with me for 2, 5, 6, 7 years. Why? Because I am honest with them. I tell them, like, when I offer them a load, I tell them right away exactly what it is. I don't lie to them. I don't try to sugarcoat it. I don't make it. Because like, you've been watching me looking for loads. I know that they're not going to take that load, and I'm not even going to offer it to them. I'm not going to push it to them and tell them, hey, I know you don't go to this area. I know you don't want a heavy load, but here's this load. There is nothing else. Because I know they're not going to take it. I tried a few times. They don't want to take it. Okay, I look for loads because they would rather have a less paying load that they like, instead of high paying load that they dislike. So I honor that. And then I'm honest. I tell them exactly what it is, like when it delivers, when it picks up. If I think we can do more money on the load, or if we can't, if we can't get more money out of that load. Or if I don't see anything, then I tell them, I call them, hey, I don't see anything there. Like, there's this load, there's that load. I know you're not going to do it, but there's nothing else, and I'm still looking. And then they might say, well, what about that load? I might do that because there's nothing else. And that way you're not forcing it onto them. No one likes that. So be honest, be consistent, always answer the phone when they're calling you. Don't come up with excuses if you mess up, and I do that a lot. Just come out and say, hey, it's my fault, I messed up. I'll make sure not to do it again. If you forget to do something, or if you do something correctly, just own your actions. Don't come up with excuses. I hate excuses. I hate when someone especially that people that used to work for me would come up with excuses and just, own your actions, say, hey, I screwed up, and then I'm not going to do it anymore. But if you keep screwing up and you keep doing it, then something is wrong with you. You're not taking this job seriously. You don't respect the company that you work for. You don't respect the people that you work for because you keep telling them that you're not going to do it and you still do it. In my eyes, that's disrespectful, and I don't like that. So yeah, that's my answer to that question. This is about routing drivers. Have you considered looking into software like Samsara or any other live GPS systems? Are you familiar with any software that could potentially help a dispatcher be more efficient by optimizing routes without bridges or maybe even live construction sites? Do you think that software is necessary for a dispatcher business, or would they be an unnecessary overhead? I think they would be an unnecessary overhead if you're a small company. If you're a big company, then that's different. If you save a little bit of money with planning a route correctly, then with a lot of trucks you save a lot of money. If you have a few trucks like me, it's just an unnecessary expense because you can look it up yourself if the driver needs help. Usually drivers nowadays have GPS systems, navigation systems that are for trucks only, and they have, low bridges and, route restrictions, stuff like that. And if they don't, they might have the experience, or they would call the company for directions if they're unsure, or you might call the company for them for directions. But to me, I think because those programs cost a lot of money, and there are not that many programs out there that do that for you as a dispatcher, at least not to be 100% accurate. So for me, this has been working, and I do it this way. I don't pay any extra money. But if you feel that you would be more comfortable, go ahead and do it and try it at least. See if it works out. If you pay for it for a month or two, it's okay. At least you learned something, and you may even like it. So if you think that it works for you, why not? Everyone, I may do something that, that I like to do on my own, or I don't want to pay money. Some people would want to pay money because they want to make it easier for them, or they don't know how to do it. Everyone is different. But in my case, I don't need it. I think this is enough for this session. And I'll see you soon. And if you have more questions, leave them in the comments. And I am getting some questions to my email too. And then I hope to address those questions as soon as I can. I didn't forget about those. So send me questions and like the video, subscribe for the channel. You know the drill. And then I'll see you later.